Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. So let's get started. I'll put this over here. For consumables, it's not a lot of product. 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white, and then the card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored and folded at 4 1/4. So this is the regular and this is the thick. Okay. You're also going to need a post-it note. I'm going to be using the Prince and the Princess. This is one of the host sets. I'm going to be using this stamp, this stamp, this stamp, and this one. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, and I'm going to be using blends to color. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to figure out where you're going to want to put your swan. I haven't cleaned this, so I don't want to set it down. And then you're going to want to figure out whereabouts you want your flowers to be on the swan. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is stamp my flowers. Now if you really wanted to, you probably could make masks of all of these pieces and then use the mask to figure out where you want things. But we know that the flowers need to be in front, so those are going to be the first thing I'm going to stamp, and I'm only using Memento ink today. So I'm going to stamp the flowers like that. Perfect. I'll clean as I go today. Maybe. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to bring in this. Oh, I forgot to show you this part. You're supposed to take that after you stamped it. I'll just do it. And I'm going to stamp it onto a piece of posted paper. This is the side with the sticky on it. So I want as much sticky as I can. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to stamp this. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it out. I've already done one, so I'm just going to use this one. Okay, then I'm going to take that post-it note and I'm going to cover this up. And I cut like right on the line, or a little bit inside the line, so that it doesn't leave huge areas. Okay, now I'm going to come in with the swan. I'm going to ink that up. Make sure I got it really good inked. Then I want to hover over this where I want the flowers to be. And then I'm going to stamp it down. You're going to want to give it a little bit of pressure because there's a mask there and you don't want that area to have a big shadow spot where there's no ink. Okay, then we can remove the mask and see what we got. Very nice. Turn off my stamp. Okay, then I'm going to bring in this one. I'm going to stamp that down here underneath this bird. Kind of get it so that those two partial lines are close to the bird. Very nice. Okay, then we're going to take this one here. And down over here, we're going to stamp that. Perfect. Then I'm going to come in with a little hello, and this is from the pansies. I like hello stamps, they're just universal good. Okay, and I'm going to stamp that up here. Awesome. And that's all the stamping. Put the ink away. I'm going to bring in some blends, and the first one I'm going to do is white crumb cake. And I'm going to put some shadows on the swan, just so it looks a little bit dimensional. It's a white object, but it's a living object, so I want it to be warm. So that's why I chose the crumb cake. And I'm putting a shadow underneath the head here, underneath the neck, here where the flowers are going to touch the bird. Underneath this body part, I'm just doing like curves. And then just a few little underneath some of these feathers. Don't have to do all of them, but okay. That's all for that color. Then I'm going to come in with smoky slate and light smoky slate and dark gray granite. I'm going to do the light smoky slate on the beak because their beaks are black. And that, you could leave it at that, but I wanted to add just a little bit of dimension, so I'm going to take the small end of the dark gray granite and add a little bit of darkness on the underneath side. Okay. Come on, Cap, go on. Then let's do the flowers next, I guess. So I'm going to do, I have Flirty Flamingo light and dark Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to color in the whole flower with the light. And again, you could just leave it at that and just have it, it's very pretty this way. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the dark. And I'm just going to add a little bit of dark here and there in the center. Like that. Just touching in a little bit of dark. Okay. And then I think I brought in light cherry cobbler. And I just, with the tiny end, I just added just a little bit more color. This is not a necessity by any means. It looks really pretty with just the Flirty Flamingo. I just wanted to add just a little bit more. And I came back in with the light Flirty Flamingo and just went over it so it blended it all in. Okay. For the leaves, I have light and old olive and light granny apple green. Did the granny apple first. And I'm going to put a little bit of green in here, and there's a couple hollow spaces. It looks like it should have some extension going between the flowers. And again, you could just color it this color and that would be enough. And then I'm going to come in with the dark and darker color. Just add a little bit on a couple spots here. Okay. And this leaf, same color, granny apple. I just grabbed colors. I didn't even, a lighter and a darker, but all of the colors go nicely together. So, all right, now I have blues. I have light seaside and dark balmy blue. The first thing I did was go underneath. Oops, I'm shedding. Go underneath the bird with the dark, like that, and where these water reflection is, and then I flicked it out like this. And then I did a little bit underneath the grass. Okay, then I came in with the light seaside spray. And it's not, oh, wrong end, it's not going to blend, but that's alright. And then I went all the way around the bird. Colored in that space there. And again, I just flicked it out like that. I went all the way around the bird and all the way around the leaves. So even though you're not coloring the whole water, you're getting the illusion that there's water there. And then I went underneath here where we already colored that darker color. And I flicked. So there's the okay, and that's all the coloring. You want to go back in with that dark underneath the bird a little bit darker. It's a second coat of the same color. Right under the bird, a little bit right under the grass. Okay, we're going to bring in our card base. And I'm going to use the Tombow because that's what I like to use. The multi-purpose glue on the back. Make sure you got your card opening the right way. Go ahead and center that on the front of the card. Now I couldn't decide if I wanted to do this, so I'll do it on this one. And you can let me know which way you like it better. But I've tied a bow with the linen thread. I'm going to add this bow right here under this large flower. Okay, so there's the card we just made together. There's the one with the added bow. And here's the one that's plain without it. There you go. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. Should I put the bow on the other one, or does it look good without it? Well, have a great day, everyone. Bye.